Today we're going to talk about something a little bit different. We're going to actually talk about gun stuff today. Shooting stuff and gun stuff today. Uh, I'm smoking a pipe because obviously that's what I do. I smoke a pipe. I also dip a little bit here and there, but yeah, that's for another video. So, little story. Last weekend, I went out, did some shooting, and I got a new chronograph. Originally, I was using the chronograph that had like the little triangle thing that you set up, a little deal and stuff like that. And I always felt like the numbers, get you kind of close, but not really that close, you know. So I ended up buying a new chronograph, and I went out and did some testing. And what I found was that I was correct in thinking that the original chronograph got you kind of close, but not close enough, right? Not close enough to be real accurate. So one of my newest rifles is a Christensen Arms Ridgeline in a 6.5 PRC. Now, I got a buddy who has the exact same rifle, same finish, same color stock, same everything. It's literally identical. The only difference, the only way you can tell them apart is he's got a Vortex on his and I got a Leupold on mine. Now, we gotta have about probably around 3 to 4 boxes more of ammo through his than mine. He got his maybe 6 months before I got mine. And which is important, and I'm gonna get there. So, did some load testing, right? I think the biggest thing that I learned was that it's important to speed test your loads. Whether you're using hand loads, whether you're shooting factory ammo, it doesn't matter. You should be speed testing your loads. I'm a firm believer in there is no such thing as too much information, especially, nowadays when everybody is, not everybody, but turrets are a big thing now, right? On scopes. On that Christensen Arms, I got a Leupold VX5. It's got a turret on it. I got a little app on my phone. I got, dial in the yardage and in the phone, dial a little turret on, and you're pretty. You should be basically dead on. And I found that to be pretty accurate. The furthest I've shot is out to 800 yards, and I was hitting an 8-inch plate at 800 yards pretty consistently, especially considering the wind. Now that was probably 3-4 months ago. I was doing that. Yesterday. Yesterday I took a guy out who is military, law enforcement, all that deal. We went out and did some shooting. And I told him, I said, hey, let's go up to the long range. Let's go see if we can hit some plates at 300-400 yards. And he was hitting plates at 300-400 yards, no problem. There's a pretty good sized plate. It's probably 2.5 feet tall by 1.5 wide. And it's out at 700 yards. And I told him, I dialed it up and just said, hey, just put it right on dead center, and see. And for a guy who doesn't shoot bolt action rifles at all, who's never been interested in shooting for precision or accuracy or distance or anything like that, his first shot at 700 yards on albeit a pretty good sized plate was dead in the middle. And that goes back to the speed testing. You gotta know what your loads are shooting. And like I said, even factory loads. Right now, for that 6.5 PRC, I bought a case of ammo. So I've been shooting that, and I figured when I'm done with that, I'll use the empties to work up a load, and then buy some better brass, and I'll load whatever I'm gonna shoot. I'll load in the better brass, but for load workup, I'll use my empties, which it's Hornady ammo, Hornady brass, which I think is made by Starline, I believe. I Not it's probably it's probably not the best brass, but it's gonna work for me. I'm not an F class shooter. I'm not a Ventress guy. I'm a guy who likes to hunt, guy who likes to shoot 800 yards with my hunting rifles or something like that. It's not it's not crucial. I'm not trying to make money on my shooting. Um, so back to speed testing. Buddy of mine who's got another Ridgeline, exact same rifle, same caliber, same barrel, same muzzle brake, same everything. We go out, we shoot. He's got, like I said, probably 60 to 80 rounds more down his barrel than mine. We shot two different 6.5 PRC loads. We shot the 143 grain, more like a hunting bullet. I think it's the ELDX. And we shot the 147 grain ELDM, the match bullet. Um, I don't I don't remember, the boxes are right there. I don't remember what the feet per second is on them. But his rifle consistently shot both loads 50 to 75 feet per second faster than my rifle. Consistently. We load tested, we went back and forth a couple different times. Because the first time we did it, I figured, there may be 10, maybe feet per second in a difference, maybe 20, depending. But I knew we weren't that far away on the amount of rounds down the barrel. And what we were getting in terms of velocity was between 75 and around 125 feet per second higher than what the box of ammo said should be, right? So if the box of ammo, I think one of them, the box says it should be like 2950 feet a second, I think, and then I was probably 60 feet per second higher than that, 70 feet per second higher than that. He was like a full 120, 125 feet per second faster than that. So if you're shooting factory ammo and you've got a turret and you use some sort of an application on your phone or whatever to determine the amount of clicks that you need to come up on your scope when you're shooting, 3, 4, 500,000 yards, whatever, you need to speed test your ammo. Don't just take what the box says and go, okay, that's what it is and that's what I'll dial for. No. You could be 100 feet a second faster, you could be 200 feet a second, you could be slower. Either way, you start getting out to 1,000 yards, it's going to make a difference. You need to speed test your ammo. Further on from that, I would say you need to speed test your ammo, obviously at different elevations, right? The other day we're shooting at 2,000 feet. If I go on a hunt and out of state and I'm going to be around, 6,000 feet, 8,000 feet, whatever it is, I'm going to speed test my loads at that elevation. So if I'm at 2,000 feet, that's where I'm zero, that's what this and that. I'm going to go out and I'm going to check my zero like normal. If I'm at 8,000 feet, I'm going to check my zero at 8,000 feet and I'm going to speed test at 8,000 feet. I want to see what the difference is in that ammo so that you can be 100% precise. Now, I will also say that I've never taken a shot on an animal longer than 400 yards, and I don't really plan to. However, like I said earlier, I don't think that there's such a thing as having too much information, right? I think you always want to have the most amount of information that you possibly can. Further with the speed testing, if you're a guy that's got a couple different rifles chambered in the same chamber, don't just say, well, I load tested this for this rifle and it got this speed and it shot this good and so it's probably going to be about the same speed for the other rifle. No. Go speed test that load for that rifle. It may shoot 100 feet per second different. And depending on how much you shoot, it's going to, because that barrel will speed up. The only thing I can think of, and it was surprising to me that his barrel had sped up that much more than mine, which tells me that I can probably expect a barrel speed up in the next 3 to 5 boxes of ammo. Now, maybe it won't happen. I don't know. but I'm gonna be looking for it. So I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna speed test. Pretty much every time I go and shoot, I'm gonna speed test my rifle just to see where it's at, see where it's floating around. If I clean it, if I do a real good clean job on it, I get all the copper fouling out, all the carbon fouling out, all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna speed test it. I'll go shoot one fouling round, and I'm gonna speed test after that fouling round because the the speed may change, will change most likely if you've got one round down a brand new clean barrel versus you got 60 rounds down a barrel you've been shooting for the last year. So speed test, speed test, speed test. I never felt like it was that important, but that day when I went out and we were shooting identical rifles back to back and he's getting, 50 feet a second, 60 feet a second faster average, it blew me away. And I always assumed that the box, your feet per second, was going to be fairly close. I guess in the grand scheme of things, it is fairly close, right? You're in maybe the ballpark, but I want to know exactly what I'm shooting. And it's not that hard. To speed test, all you gotta do is shoot 3 rounds. That's all you gotta do. You don't have to sit there and shoot 10 rounds and everything. You can if you want, right? But for me, shoot 3 rounds, take the average. You're gonna get close, right? You're gonna be right there. So down to the new chronograph I got, right? Obviously, I'd love to get a lab radar. That's a given. Everyone would love to have a lab radar chronograph. For me, it wasn't feasible. I don't have $600-700. I can just go dump on a chronograph, right? So what I did was I found some videos of guys testing and some articles of guys testing the lab radar with the magnetospeed, getting basically the same numbers, maybe a couple feet per second difference here and there. That's totally acceptable to me, right? Like I said, I'm not a bench press shooter. I'm not trying to get the exact same speed. I'm just trying to get it close, right? If I can get an extreme spread of under 20, I'm probably gonna be okay with it. If I can get it down to 10, I'm gonna be ecstatic, right? So this is the guy I was using right here. It's the Magnetospeed Sporter. It's a barrel mounted chronograph, and it's highly recommended. I purchased it a few weeks ago. I've been playing around with it. That Ridgeline's got a real thick barrel on it. This, I believe, says you can go up to 1 inch diameter. Yeah. For center fire rifles, barrel diameters from a 1/2 inch to 1 inch. Muzzle devices less. Basically muzzle brakes less than 2.7 inches in length. I really liked it. It's easy to set up once you get the hang of it. It took me a minute to kind of get the hang of how to get it set up correctly. But I didn't have any issues with it. I felt like I was going to blow it off the end of my rifle the first time I shot, so you just kind of got to trust it and say, okay, just do it. And it was great. Like I said, we were switching back and forth on rifles. I speed tested my 6.5 PRC. I speed tested his 6.5 PRC. I speed tested one of my dad's ARs. I speed tested my 280 Ackley. I speed tested my 204, my 25-06. It was just easy. Just strap it on, throw it on the next one, and you're good to go. Easy to read display. I really liked it. Like I said, I don't think I'll even go out of state without taking this. I think that I'm going to be one of those guys that's going to be constantly speed testing my loads. Because I think mainly because that difference that we saw in identical rifles with less than 100 rounds of ammo, less than 100 rounds of cartridges fired between two basically identical rifles, getting that much variability or that much difference in speed, it blew me away. I didn't have any idea. So that's what I would say, right? So this is just sort of a video sitting here talking. I'd like to do some videos in the future about actually out shooting this and that. But generally, when I go out shooting, I kind of forget about my phone. My phone stays in the truck. I'm out there all day long, and I don't even really pay attention unless I'm pulling out to take a video or take a photo of someone shooting or something like that. I don't even think of it. But maybe one day I'll do that. Right now, we're just talking about stuff, and for me, I wanted to get on here and tell people what I learned, which was how important it is to speed test your loads. It's very, I believe now it's one of the most important things now, right? So I wanted to get on and share sort of the things that I learned, and you don't generally get two rifles that are essentially identical with that few rounds between them and being able to compare back to back, and I was very shocked. So I think people, that will help get it into people's heads how important it is to know the speeds of the loads you're running. Everyone wants to talk about the bullet. Well, what's the projectile? That's great and all, but know the speed. Know the actual speed. If you're putting in your calculation that your 7 mag is going 3,200 feet a second and it's actually going 30, 50 feet a second, that's going to change things. That may be the difference. If you like shooting animals out to 1,000 yards, that may be the difference in a clean kill and a wounded animal. So I don't know how you could feel like you're responsible by and not speed test your loads just to ensure what they actually are shooting. And don't think, oh, I speed tested. I speed tested when I first got it. I was breaking in the barrel. I was sighting it, whatever. I speed tested it, and it's fine. Okay. Well, how many rounds you shot through it since then? Oh, I've shot 10 boxes through it since then. Well, there's a good chance your barrel's sped up. I recommend you go out and speed test again. It's very important. Speed test, speed test, speed test. I don't know how many times I can say it. But for me, it's gonna be the first thing. I will not go to the range without my chronograph. I won't do it. After what I saw the other day, I will not go to the range without my chronograph. It's going to happen. And I would imagine that because I feel that it's so important to me now, I imagine that sometime in the next few years, I will likely try to get my hands on a lab radar. Not that this isn't great. This will be great for going out of state, doing quick things. You can easily slide it and stuff. Lab radar is a bigger unit, whatever. The thing that's nice about the lab radar for me is that you can just set it up. You don't have to mess with it at all. You set it up, you can shoot anything by it, and it's gonna pick it up. You don't have to take it on and off, this and that. It's just good to go. So that's what I learned. That's what I want to talk about today, and hopefully I got a couple other video ideas lined up over the next couple of weeks. If you guys are liking any of these things, if you want to talk more about speed testing or loading or things like that, if you like that kind of stuff, let me know so that I know to keep doing it. And we'll see if we can do something like that. And then maybe one day we'll get out and shoot some steel and have a little fun. Maybe do a little couple-minute video of just shooting steel, putting the phone on the spotting scope, and we'll shoot some steel, see what we can do or something like that. If you guys want to see stuff like that, let me know. We'll see if we can get that done. And that's pretty much it. Y'all take care.